So here's an idea, and unusually for me, it's quite a good idea. To get you to where I am right now, I was playing This War of Mine with the missus the other day, and she said, "Well, baby, that's really cool." Or words to that effect. But she said, "Are you going to do a video of this and share it? Because other people might want to give that a little go." Okay, I'll do that. Now, unfortunately, I didn't think to even imagine it would be a video-ish thing when I started out. I didn't even know if it was going to work, but it has worked. And so the preparation that I can show you is limited, but you will get a good idea, I hope. Before we get to that, I'll show you what I've made. And before I do that, I would just remind everybody that I make these videos in aid of a charity called Cure Parkinson's. You can guess what they're trying to do. If you happen to have a spare YPC, a spare dollar, euro, yen, yak, or a pound you could send to them, I'm sure that they would appreciate it. There is a link to them below this video and one in the banner on the home page. Let me switch you around and show you what I've done. So it starts off over there, over in Canada, Western Canada that is, and Alaska. It goes right across the background of this entire G40 board, although I guess you could make it for any size of board custom made, but obviously putting other sizes of boards up against it, that works as well. We've got a kind of an open background area, more open in the Far East and obviously in these sort of tundra wastes of the Soviet Union. As we get a little bit more busy, I imagine that these places in the background here are like industrial Germany, and the more the industrial kind of areas that you're getting as the game progresses towards the western side of the map. Give you an idea of scale, and how it looks with people on the board. We've got some Russians and some Germans thrown in and a few Brits to give you an idea of just the way it's going to look finished on my piece and the way it may look on your piece. We go right the way around and across to Great Britain. Houses of Parliament just ghosted in on there, and a bit of the Statue of Liberty on the far western side of the board. Get used to West confused then. It works out really well. The only choices you're going to have to make really is what you put on the background and just how sharp and clear you want the pictures. I decided to go with a fairly muted set of background buildings. I think if for me, if they were sharp buildings looking really crisp, it would detract perspective wise. I also chose the brown and orangey colours as my background mix, because I didn't want that to overpower anything in the foreground, and it does kind of blend in with a lot of the Russian ground territory that, as we can see just here on the map. It's one big long piece of paper. Well, actually it's 8 pieces of paper joined together, A4 sheets, and laminated with a matte laminating paper. It's important to use matte. If you use a shiny laminating paper, you will get a shine just like you get on the board here, and you can't see anything. That matte paper takes the shine away, but better than I imagined it would have done, and it really did work out well. They are joined together after being slipped in and checking for the positioning and bending the 2 corners. One corner right up there and one down that way. Bending the 2 corners and cutting them off at an angle. That's the way I wanted to do it. You could do it a different way around. They're joined together with small pieces of double-sided tape, and it pokes in behind the board and in front of, let's have a little butchers, this white strip that I use going around. This is just electrical ducting that is it's pennies for miles of it, and it adds a little finish to my board. But what this does do, as you can see, give a background, it gives atmosphere. More atmosphere than looking behind it at PlayStation, wires, dog bed, sometimes dog hanging around. When we were playing on, say, This War of Mine, it added a bit of spookiness a bit of an ethereal charm. I'll go over to the computer now and show you roughly what I did in layers, but that is all you've got to do. Pieces of A4 paper in your printer, matte laminate, and off you go. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Well, that didn't work out at all well, trying to video my computer screen. It got some really weird buzzy lines going across it. Can't do that. Got to do this the old-fashioned way, pre-decimal in old money. Here's a picture of the assembled line of background images. On top of that, I then repeated that image and using, I think it's a Control-T tool, folded it back underneath itself to make a mirrored image of those lines of buildings. And after that, using a bit of magic with paint brushes of various different types and a few different bluey greeny colours, and the rubbing out tool, put this sea on there to show a reflection of the buildings in the water. After that, on another layer, we threw the background image on using the gradient tool, going from that orangey yellow into a brown colour. And when I was happy that I had a rough image going, I trimmed the whole thing down to a much slimmer size and brought the sea in a little bit deeper, and also put a few white speckles all over the deeper background above some of the buildings and in some of the buildings as well. Penultimate thing we did was add some misty cloud around the building layer, and to finish it off in terms of the atmosphere was this big wash of dark cloud in the background too. That, I think, finally set it off. There was a couple more layers after that of colour changes, just literally just tweaking lights and darks by a small amount, and then it went to the guillotine and or the printer, sorry, and then got guillotined up after it was laminated with the matte paper. So I hope you give this a go, and if you do get some great results, then share it with me, because I wouldn't mind trying a different one of these at a certain point in the future. Till next time, be cool.